Am I the asshole for wearing white to my wedding? I recently got married to the love of my life, Jay. We had a perfect wedding except for one thing. My mother-in-law's freak out when she saw my dress. When we had gone dress shopping, I invited her and I found my perfect dress. My husband's family has a tradition of always wearing blush dresses on their wedding day. They told me about this before, and I respectfully said I would wear whatever color dress my perfect dress was. Once I finally found it, it was white. Mother-in-law asked me to ask if they could alter it to make it blush, or to find a new dress if they couldn't. I said I would ask, but if they couldn't, then that was that. Long story short, they couldn't, and I showed up to my wedding in a white dress. All through the ceremony, mother-in-law was seething. During the reception, she pulled me aside and asked why my dress was white. I told her that I didn't want to find a new dress and they couldn't alter it. She said it was a tradition and she was disappointed that I had broke it. Jay also said that he was disappointed when I walked down the aisle in a white dress. Was I the asshole?
That's the husband?
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Was I the asshole? I could have just changed my dress.
No.
There are some comments from OP. So someone goes, "You're the asshole for not being honest. You could have just said you didn't want to wear a dress like that. Or you could have told them before the wedding your dress is white."
Okay, that's actually a good point. I kind of skipped over that, but I was thinking that why were they all surprised when she came out? Like,
I think because she said, like, because the mother-in-law was like, "Can you alter it?" Or like, if they can't change your dress.
But she said, "I will look into it, and if not, then I'm not going to."
Yeah. So her response is, I was honest. I told her that I wasn't going to do it. But she said that she thought I was joking.
Ah!
He sounded like a velociraptor.
I know. I just love responses like that. Well, what? Okay.
Okay, so next comment, though. Not the asshole. Why is it a tradition that they wear blush? I'm just being nosy. OP goes, apparently, Jay's great-great-great-grandma wore white, and she died right after, as well as some other deaths in the family associated with wearing white on your wedding day. But Jay's great-great-great-great-aunt wore blush, and she had a long, happy marriage with lots of children and didn't die until she was 90 or something.
Whoa.
I don't know, really.
Okay, honestly, that's kind of a dope tradition then.
I still wouldn't do it, but that's really cool for them.
Who's the worst celebrity you've ever met? I actually went to high school with this celebrity. I won't reveal her name, but I'm 100% sure by the end you'll know who I'm talking about. Back in high school, my school would do a fundraising open mic every year to raise money for the senior classes events. Our open mics became so well known that everyone came just to support one another. So, I had actually decided to perform with my band. We didn't take it seriously or anything. We just did cover songs for fun. The day of, as my band was walking on stage, we heard this girl scoff at us and say that we were wasting her time. So, I asked her, "Do you have somewhere else to be?" She told us no and got awkward when she realized we called her out for being rude. Afterwards, my band and I played some No Doubt songs and I could literally see in the corner of my eye this girl is darting her eyes at me from the wings. While everyone clapped, she had this permanent stank face. When we walked off, she literally told us, "You people don't know how to grab an audience." I was like, whatever, break a leg. Turns out, this girl was waiting to do some comedy. When she walked up, everyone was excited because she was the first comedy act of the night. As we all listened in, everyone started to get repulsed. She started talking about her periods, her cookie box, and we're pretty sure some of her jokes we heard from other comedians, but she reworded them. The second-hand embarrassment was so bad, nobody clapped for her. After she walked out, I felt so bad. All I told her was to keep her chin up. I guess she did, cause last I checked she has a new Netflix show out.
An influencer canceled my boyfriend and I've never been happier. Last year I was dating this guy who wanted to be TikTok famous. Well, one day I was on his page and saw a video that actually had a good number of views. I was really happy to see him doing well, until I watched the video. It was a story of him talking about the grossest thing he's ever seen, which he said were my baby pictures. Now, for context, I was born with a cleft lip and used to be extremely embarrassed about it. I hated looking at baby pictures of myself from before my face was fixed. But my mom still has them up because she says I've always been beautiful. Moms, am I right? Anyway, not only did he talk about my face being deformed, he included the pictures in the video too. I was completely mortified. I blocked my boyfriend's number and spent the entire night crying, but that wasn't it. The next morning, I woke up to a ton of texts from my best friend telling me I needed to check out this particular influencer's page. We'll call her Caitlin. So I looked, and she had a new video going viral where she responded to my boyfriend's video. My heart sank at first, but then I looked, and it turned out she had been born with a cleft lip too. I had no idea. She showed pictures of herself before her surgery. and she looked so much like me. She said she had always been beautiful, and so was I, and that my only flaw was I was dating a horrible man. People were loving her video. I checked my boyfriend's page and his video was getting views too, but it had hundreds of comments calling him a terrible person and hyping me up. That day, I texted my mom and asked if I could have a few of my baby pictures to keep at my house.
My friend told me she was making a weight loss plan for me so her wedding pictures would look more symmetric, and she thinks she's helping me, but it's only made me want to give her a fist to the face as a workout to return the favor. My friend, 33F, is a personal trainer and just got engaged to another personal trainer. All of their friends were met through the gym they both work at. I have known her since we were both 5. I am not a personal trainer. I am US size 10. So I'm not obese, but I'm definitely on the fatter size. I'm very comfortable with who I am, and my doctor is too. Well, tonight she called me with the best news. Her fiancé and her are putting together a great workout and meal plan together for me. They figure if I drop 20 to 30 pounds, the wedding pictures will be more symmetric. She was so happy and excited, like she was doing me a favor. I wasn't even sure what to say, so I just hung up and haven't responded. I completely flabbergasted. This isn't a situation where I constantly batch about my weight and then get mad when someone offers to help. I've never asked for help, I've never mentioned wanting to lose weight. They both just kind of took it upon themselves to help me. Obviously, I'm going to opt out of being her maid of honor, but at this point I'm not even sure I want to go now. Why would anyone think this was okay? I honestly have no idea how to discuss this with her. I feel like it's much more the fiancé than her. Update. So while that post blew up, I ended up deleting it because my friend lost business over it. She had told a few of her close clients her plan. When it blew up and ended up on FB via different news outlets, they were able to put 2 and 2 together. They decided they didn't want her to be their PT any longer. That was never ever my intention. Although I feel bad, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Anyways, her and I talked in length. She admitted her true motivation was having before my wedding photos, and after pictures, her wedding, of a normal mom transformed into a fit mom. She was also planning on having crop top dresses. After 3 pregnancies, my abs are quite separated, and she wanted to help. She realized her motivations were selfish. She knew I would decline, so she had hoped presented this way I would do it for her. But yay, her concern was never my health. She admitted that multiple times. To address a few things, $2,500 plane tickets were for a family of 5. I've also never hinted at wanting to lose weight. She knows I'm very comfortable with who I am. Also, my doctor is very happy with where I stand. I receive many very strange messages and comments telling me my doctor is lying to me. I can assure you, my doctor would make a lot more money telling me I was fat and needing to run extra tests. So he's not going to lie about my health. That's about the exact opposite of what a doctor does. My husband is not a sexist pig for saying he wanted to show me off at a nude beach. He's my biggest supporter. He just meant that I don't need to hide and I'm beautiful the way I am. The fiancé wasn't behind this. But he's pissed that I wouldn't just do it for her. He literally said tell her anything over a size 4 is disgusting in the background when I spoke to her. So good luck with your winner there. After we spoke, I have decided that just I'm going to go to the wedding, and not be in the wedding. My family will stay home. She feels terrible, but we've been friends for almost 30 years. I'm also not going to fly out for her showers and bachelorette, which I would have done otherwise. This really put our friendship in perspective for me. She had stepped back a little since she got serious with her fiancé, and I didn't realize the extent of it. He has some strong views on hating anyone over a size 4, and I realized she's slowly picked these up as well. I have no idea what the friendship holds after this, but I still want to be there to cheer her on for the wedding. But I don't have to be immersed in every aspect.
911 operators, has there ever been a call that made 0 sense? Things were fucked from the beginning. A woman named Carol dials 911 and claims that somebody's inside her house. We go investigate, searching the place inch by inch but find nothing. Usually, this could be easily explained away. The mind of an older person living alone eventually starts deteriorating. The onset of dementia and other mental issues start to take a toll on their lives. Quite sad, really. However, this woman is only 24. In other words, the probability of this all being inside her head is extremely unlikely. She also seemed to be terribly distraught by this whole situation. Why would she be acting? We leave her place and tell her to contact us if she sees anything again. I mean, we couldn't really do anything at that point. We were somewhat surprised when we got another call from her the very next day. We drive down there and search the house again. We find nothing. Again. Problem is, the house seems different this time. Almost as if there was some subtle detail that made it a separate place from the one we were in yesterday. My partner, Beck, says that he noticed it as well, but doesn't quite understand what's wrong. We decide not to say anything about this as we tell Carol that we came up with nothing. However, she tells us to stay. I recorded him, she says. She takes out her phone and tells us to watch the video that she's pulled up. It was footage of her in the house. She's running around, breathing frantic. And then we see him. A large figure, covered head to toe in what appears to be a black bodysuit. He lumbers towards the camera as Carol screams and ducks into a room, locking it from the inside. There's a few bangs on the door before we can hear footsteps walking away. We don't know how to react to this footage, but we try anyways. We come to the conclusion that the man must have left once Carol got behind the door. However, the front door was locked when we came, and Carol told us that she hadn't left the room. Did he also have the keys to her house? That would explain a lot, but it also made this situation a lot worse. We decide to keep an eye on her house for the night. We're discreet, parking about a block down the road in an unmarked car. We're both fully awake, ready to go as soon as we see some sketchy shit. At around 2 a.m., we see somebody walking across the road, towards her house. However, it isn't the man. It's Carol herself. Beck and I must have had the same look on our faces. What the fuck? We get out of the car and make our way over there, knocking hard on the front door. However, nobody answers. We can see lights flicking on and off intermittently, but we're not sure what that's supposed to mean. Was she trying to tell us to leave? We get a call from dispatch a few moments later. They're telling us that Carol has called 911 again, saying that there are now multiple people in her house. They ask if we need backup. We say yes. Without another moment of hesitation, we force the door open and barge in. The living room lights still flicker on and off, but we see the light switch and nobody is touching it. We call out for Carol, but nobody responds. In fact, the place is dead quiet. I can see the neighboring houses starting to turn on their lights from the commotion. We rush up the stairs and start sweeping each room. But there's nothing. Once again, we search the place inch by inch, but nothing is in here, not even Carol, who we clearly saw enter a few moments earlier. As I pace around in petrified confusion, Beck speaks up. There's rooms here that shouldn't be. What the hell are you talking about? I ask in response. I've been counting, he says. There were 9 total the last time we came. There are 10 now. You didn't notice it? I forced myself to think hard. Subconsciously, I knew that something was off, but couldn't pinpoint exactly what. However, I eventually realize. The basement. There was only door down there last time. Beck nods. 2 now. I don't know what to think. I look at my surroundings and try to make an assessment, but there's really none that can be made. We hear a knock on the door about 10 seconds later. It sounds agitated. We look out the living room windows, but aren't met with the red and blue police lights. We're hesitant to answer, of course. I decide to take a step forwards, but Beck pulls me back. He looks at me and shakes his head, whispering, "We left the door open, remember?" He was right. My radio starts crackling. Another call from dispatch. They're telling us that we need to leave the house immediately. That Carol called again, saying we were going to die, in a deathly monotone voice. The knocking has stopped, but we can hear footsteps in the basement. Something is in here with us. We've decided that this was enough. We needed to get the fuck out of here. As we start descending the steps, we hear a voice coming from the kitchen. Carol comes out, blocking our path to the door. She looks detached, with blank, beady eyes staring right at us. "Did you find him?" she asks, without any semblance of emotion in her voice. "I think he might be in the basement. Why don't you go check?" Beck and I are frozen in shock. She just keeps looking at us, gesturing towards the basement door every now and then. The footsteps down there sound like they're running in circles now. We ignore her request, abruptly brushing past her and bolting out of the front door. The backup still isn't here, so we decide to just get into our car. However, we see somebody down the street peering through our driver's side window. He's large, dressed in what appears to be a black full-body suit. He looks away from the window and directly at us. It's hard to tell from this far, but the suit doesn't seem to have any eye holes. Beck speaks up. "Sir, please step back from the vehicle." His voice cracks in the middle of the sentence. He's terrified. As soon as Beck stops talking, the figure starts running towards us. It's fast. Too fast. In the time that it takes for us to pull up our guns, we've realized that it's actually moved past us, into the house. We waste no more time, running into the car, locking the doors and waiting until backup arrives. When it finally does, we're extensively questioned while what appears to be a SWAT team searches the house. However, it isn't the police chief asking us. Instead, it's some guy in a suit that we've never seen before. He asks us things like how many doors were there in the house? And what did Carol look like, exactly? And did we ever see a man with one eye wandering around? We answer inconclusively to pretty much all of them. We have no idea what the hell's going on. At one point, we see SWAT members carrying multiple stretchers outside and loading them into their truck. Not an ambulance, mind you, but their own truck. Eventually, the man who was questioning us tells us to go home, and to report to our station as usual. He tells us not to worry about what we've seen here. I don't know how he expects us to do that. We drive back to the station in complete silence. As we park, Beck finally lets out a sigh. "Jack is fucking crazy, dude." I look at him in confusion. "What are you talking about? Who the hell is Jack?" He reciprocates an equally confused stare at me. "What the hell are you talking about?" "The dude who owns the house." "What?" "It was a lady named Carol." "How'd you forget already?" We hold each other's chaotic gaze for what feels like a minute. But we say nothing further. We both silently exit the vehicle and start heading our separate ways home. We both know that something's terribly wrong with the other. I try not to think about it too much as my head hits the pillow. I managed to drift off to sleep about 3 hours later, only to be woken up immediately by the telephone. Barely coherent, I answer it. "We need you." A woman dialed 911. Says that somebody's in her house. My heart sinks slightly. It sinks completely when he tells me the address. It's Carol's. I hang up the phone and slump into the bed. I just want this nightmare to end.
I absolutely hate the ring my fiancé proposed with, and I wish I could just suck it up and wear it forever, but it's so hideous and I have no idea how to tell him that. A wonderful thing happened this past weekend, which is that my boyfriend, 27M, of 5 years proposed to me, 26F. It was extremely romantic and I couldn't have planned something better myself. I'm over the moon right now, except for one thing. My ring. When my fiancé and I first started to talk seriously about getting engaged, I told him that we could choose a ring together, or he could ask me questions about my preferences and look through my existing jewelry to get an idea of what styles of rings I like, roughly 25 rings. He wanted it to all be a surprise, so he opted for the latter. I was a bit nervous because I can be picky when it comes to jewelry, but I trusted that he would have enough resources and knowledge to make a wonderful choice. The only guidelines I gave him were nothing pink, no blue sapphires, and no diamonds. As it turns out, I hate the ring. Not just in it's not really my style, but it'll grow on me way, but in a wow, this is ugly and I would never wear it way. I feel absolutely awful for thinking this, but I can't help it. My issues with it. 1. It's huge and gaudy. Like the sort of rings you see old women wearing. 2. It's in the shape of a heart. I dislike heart-shaped jewelry, which is why I never owned any until now. And 3. It's amber. I'm a fan of light or honey-colored amber, but this is way too dark. It's also extremely impractical to have amber be worn as an everyday ring. It's going to become scratched and dull very, very quickly. I just don't understand why in the world he picked this ring out for me. It's not my style at all and it's clear he didn't do any research. If he had, he would have known amber was a poor choice. I'm actually rather hurt by his choice because, to me, it shows a lack of care on his part. The worst part of all is that I have no clue how to broach the subject with him. He and I share everything with each other and have no secrets, so it's doubly hard on me to not only dislike the ring, but to also not be talking to him about this problem like we do with everything else. How can I bring this up without hurting him? I want him to know I love him deeply and that I'm so happy to be engaged, but that the ring needs to be changed. I'm freaking out and need advice badly. Thank you. Edit. Everyone in the comments wants to see what the ring looks like, so here it is. Relevant comments. Commenter, if you're going to spend the rest of your life with this man, you'll need to get comfortable with awkward conversations. Just frame it up as you're worried about the stone's ability to wear for the rest of your life, and you want something you can wear every day. Go together and pick out a new one. I'm sure he tried. OP, we have had many awkward conversations before, believe me. This is a whole different ballpark because of the extremely sensitive subject matter. Even if I frame it in terms of why it's simply impractical, it still doesn't solve my hurt feelings and confusion of his choice. OP responds to a deleted comment. Why is it wrong to be hurt? He completely ignored my tastes and preferences on a ring that I'm intended to wear for the rest of my life. It honestly feels like he pulled a ring out of a hat and thought I guess this is it. When I get him a gift for his car, I do tons of research, ask his friends for suggestions etc. He obviously didn't put the same thought into this gift to me and that hurts. OP replying to someone saying it's hard for men to pick rings. I literally offered to pick it out with him. He didn't have to make the choice alone in the first place. Even with his choice to make it a surprise, he wasn't clueless. He knew what things I didn't like and he knew what I did like by looking through my jewelry collection. He could have talked with my mom or sister to get their opinions on what styles I'd like. He didn't do the research though, and that's why I'm sort of hurt. It seems thoughtless. Update, the next day, I was not expecting yesterday's post to be so popular and I was overwhelmed at how many people responded. In spite of the loads of damn, OP wasn't lying about the ring or the what a shallow BTCH comments, I want to thank you those of you who did give me ideas of how to discuss this very difficult topic with my fiancé. After he arrived home last night and we had dinner, we got onto the couch to cuddle. I knew it was the best time to talk about it, so I started off by telling him how ecstatic I am to be married to him and how much I love the proposal. I then launched into my main point and said I'm so sorry to do this, but we're going to have to pick a different ring. The amber is going to get destroyed in no time and the ring is just too big for my hand. I kept banging it into everything today as is. It's just an impractical choice in the long run. He immediately looked like he was about to cry, which made me feel terrible. He put his head down and said you don't like it. Just be honest. I admitted that the impracticality of the ring was a very real issue, but that I also didn't like it. I said I'm kind of confused why you picked it because it's nothing like the rest of my stuff and it's absolutely massive. By this point he was crying and said that's the point, I wanted something completely different. All your rings are so plain. I wanted the ring to stand out so everyone would see it and know I love you. I had figured that this was his line of thinking, others guessed as well. I told him that I understood where he was coming from and emphasized that I am so thrilled to be engaged, but that I want the ring to be something that I will like. After all, it will be on my finger for the rest of my life, and that the material needs to be durable in order to stand the test of time. I explained to him how delicate amber is, which he didn't know. He said he picked amber because he liked that there were things inside of it. I asked him if he had thought about what he wanted in a ring before he had bought it. When he said no, that he had just gone to the mall and picked one out, I started to cry. I hadn't planned on crying or telling him I was hurt, but knowing that he didn't research anything about rings or really think about it just really got to me. I tried to explain my hurt feelings as eloquently as possible, but I could tell he felt horrible for it. He said that the whole process really freaked him out and that he regretted not having me pick the ring with him. When it came time to pick, he was overwhelmed by ring choices and went for the most romantic thing he saw. We both cried a lot, needless to say. The talk was very productive though, and it all ended up working out fine. Thankfully, he is the best guy I could ever ask for, just with really crappy taste in jewelry. Which he now recognizes, so he wants us to pick a new ring together this weekend. Top comment: well, that amber ring was pretty horrible, but one thing it had going for it. It wasn't dug out of a grave. Glad it worked out for you, OP.
Would it be okay to propose to my girlfriend with a necklace instead of a ring? She hates rings and I don't want to mess anything up, and my sister thinks it'll be tacky, but I also don't want to get her something she would never wear. I, 29M, have been with my girlfriend, 28F, for 7 years, and I've recently decided that I want to propose to her. When it came time to buy an engagement ring, I had a very difficult time deciding what to get her, mostly because she absolutely hates wearing rings. She has a medical condition that causes her hands to swell and another one that makes her fingers dry and flaky. She downright refuses to wear rings, and I don't want to get her something that will ultimately be useless. I went to a jeweler and explained the situation, and he suggested I buy her a different piece of jewelry instead. I ended up finding the most perfect necklace I could imagine. It's gold, her favorite, and it has both of our birthstones on it, entwined. It's absolutely stunning and was about the same as my budget for a ring. I thought this was a perfect solution, and I was excited to propose to my girlfriend with this non-traditional gesture, but when I told her sister my plans, she told me it was tacky and no woman would ever want to be proposed to with a necklace. She told me I should just buy a ring that she can put on a chain and wear as a necklace, but I don't see the point as I have already bought her a necklace. I was planning on proposing to my girlfriend on vacation next month, but now I'm not so sure. Her sister told me I will be a jerk if I propose with a necklace, but I need outside perspectives. Am I a jerk for buying my girlfriend a necklace instead of a ring? Update 1. I never could have anticipated this post getting so much attention. I really just wanted to know if other women would find the necklace to be acceptable. But all of your advice and encouragement has given me the confidence to propose to my girlfriend today. I was going to wait 2 weeks until we are on vacation, but I don't want to be anxious until then, and I would rather us use that vacation as an engagement celebration than me panicking the entire time over how I'm going to ask her. Her mother thinks the necklace is perfect, as do her best friends. I'm really not sure why her sister is so upset. I should have mentioned that her sister is only 19, so she may just have a narrow view of engagements. But today my girlfriend and I are in her grandparents' cabin for the long weekend, and I am going to ask her to marry me with the necklace next to her favorite lake with our dogs. I'm absolutely freaking out. My hands are shaking uncontrollably and I'm pretending to shower as I write this. I just truly cannot wait any longer, especially after this post. You have all gotten me way too excited. I will update again with her answer. Thank you all so much, and I'm sorry I will not be responding to any comments while I figure this out. Update 2. Well, she said yes. Here's how it went. We woke up early in the morning with our 2 dogs, went out for a nice early morning walk with the mist and the cold morning air, got back to the cabin where I made us both breakfast, French toast and bacon, her favorite, and afterwards we went out on a canoe ride to the center of the lake. She could absolutely tell that I was freaking out because she asked me about 15 times if I was okay. Lol. When we got to the center of the lake, I was basically silent from total fear when she finally said, "Jake, is something going on?" So I grabbed her hands and told her that I think she's the most incredible person on the planet and I can't imagine living this life with anyone else. I pulled out the box with the necklace in it and asked her if she would make me the happiest person alive and marry me. She instantly burst into tears and said she absolutely would. She didn't even question the necklace and completely understood my choice and told me it was the best thing I could have done to ask her. She told me she doesn't want me to spend my money on another ring, nor does she want a silicone one. She says the necklace is perfect. We spent about 10 minutes sobbing and hugging and kissing until I finally brought us back to shore, where she immediately started calling all of our friends and family. Her sister even texted me and told me that she thinks I made the right decision, which feels really great tbh. I'm so happy I didn't wait. Part of me wanted to do it this weekend, but I wouldn't have unless I had this push from all of you. Thank you so much for your kind words and encouragement. We're reading through all of your comments together now while we laugh and talk about the future. My fiancé, that's right, fiancé, Grace also wants me to let you all know that she appreciated your kind words towards me and the push to propose today. Lol, maybe I'll update in the future, but we'll see. I now have lots of planning for the future. Update 3. Not sure if anyone will remember my post about buying my GF a necklace instead of an engagement ring, but I wanted to give a little update for anyone who was interested. Well, she is officially my ex-girlfriend. Because now she's my wife. We got married this last weekend in a small ceremony in the snow with 20 of our closest friends and family. Everything went off without a hitch and we had a great time. She still loves her engagement necklace, and we ended up buying her a wedding band because lately she's been on a new medication that helps tremendously with her hands and she feels more confident/comfortable wearing a very simple ring.
She won't wear it all the time, I'm sure, but she did want something a bit traditional to show that we are married. I love her so much. I'm so happy to be married to someone so incredible. One more great thing is that ever since getting her situation with her hands under control, she's been doing pottery again, something that she's been passionate about for 19 years but hasn't been able to do over the last 6 or so because of her condition. Things are going so well, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I really appreciate all of your kind words and encouragement when I was proposing. I was so terrified when I was in the middle of it, but now life is so perfect I can't even imagine feeling anxious again, though I know I will lol. Thanks again, this community is very kind and I appreciate every one of you. Oh, and one more thing, there's no bad blood with her sister at all. She just wanted something more traditional for my wife, but once she saw my wife's reaction to the necklace, she was incredibly kind and supportive. She was my wife's maid of honor and did a spectacular job.
I shouldn't have stayed overnight in that mall. I'm not going to tell you my name. If you recognize the way I talk from my old videos, keep it to yourself. I don't want any more messages. I don't want any more theories. I just need to get this out, and then I'm done with social media. Back in 2017, I was a YouTuber. Not a huge one, but I pulled in good numbers, hundreds of thousands of views, sometimes millions. If you were watching overnight challenges, urban exploration, or anything that involved sneaking into abandoned places, you might have seen my videos. It was all fake. That's what I want you to believe. That's what I need you to believe. I was always careful. I planned every video like a heist. Research, entry points, escape routes. But in May of 2017, I got cocky. I wanted something bigger. Something that would go viral. 24 hours in an abandoned mall, it sounded perfect. I found the Cove Plaza shopping mall. Closed in 2013, mostly intact. No official security, just a few cameras that didn't work. I brought my gear, a flashlight, night vision camera, some food, and a battery pack. I was ready. At least I thought I was. I got in through a service door. The inside was exactly what I wanted. Dust-covered tile floors, shattered skylights, and dead silence. I started filming immediately, playing up the creep factor. And then I saw them. Mannequins. Not just a few hundreds. Stores that had been picked clean still had them. Naked, broken, posed in unnatural ways. Some with missing limbs, others vandalized. A few were arranged in groups, like they were mid-conversation. I joked about it on camera. Something about how this was the real mannequin challenge. I even moved a few, positioning them in weirder poses for later shots. I shouldn't have touched them. By 2 a.m., I was settled in the food court. The air smelled stale, like old grease and mold. I was filming a menu which was still lit up when I heard footsteps. Not the echo of my own, someone else's. I killed my light. Silence. Then, a faint plastic scrape. I turned my camera toward the sound, slowly raising the brightness. The mannequins had moved. Not a lot, just a few inches. But I knew where they'd been before. I checked the footage. One near the escalator had its arms at its sides, and 3 hours ago. Now, one hand was reaching forward. I laughed. I was nervous, but I convinced myself it was nothing. Maybe I bumped it earlier. Maybe my memory was bad. I went back to filming. At 3:15 a.m., my camera shut off. The battery was charged. It shouldn't have died. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The mannequins were closer. The one by the escalator was now on the first step. I don't remember getting up. I don't remember running. 1 second I was sitting, and the next I was at the other end of the food court, panting like I just sprinted a mile. I wasn't alone anymore. Something moved in my peripheral vision. A head turned. Plastic slammed the ground. I bolted. I didn't look back. I didn't stop filming, not until I was outside, gasping for breath. My camera was still dead, but my phone had the footage. I never uploaded it. When I checked the files the next day, they were corrupted. Every single one. The only thing that remained was a still frame from the food court, a blurry shot of me, sitting on the floor. And something behind me. A mannequin. No head. No arms. Just standing there. I never went back. I stopped making videos. My channel died. Maybe that was for the best. I don't care if you believe me. Just don't go looking for Cove Plaza. They don't like being watched.